Hi everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. We are going to dive right into your reading here. Let's see what is going on for Pisces, for my dear sweet Pisces, please Spirit. What do you have for Pisces? For Pisces. All right, you guys have third chakra, that's the solar plexus chakra, and you have presence and intuition. The solar plexus chakra is kind of like how we see ourselves. And, you know, sometimes with relationships, you know, especially in the very beginning, sometimes we have a particular idea of who we're going to fall in love with or what our ideal person would look like, or, you know, like who they would be. You know, I'm even getting like, you know, job wise, this kind of thing, that kind of thing. And sometimes who we fall in love with isn't necessarily that person, right? Or it doesn't exactly look like that. And, it's just like, the feeling that I'm sort of getting is like, it's easy to miss when you're looking for something super specific, or even I'm getting like, you think you've already found your person, or you think you already know who your person is. You can miss like someone who's a really good, like, the word I want to say is option, but literally I'm getting like, no. It's not like an option. It's like alternative. And it's telling me no, because it's showing me like one person may look, act, walk, be, smell, seem like the person you want to be with, but there's nothing beyond that. There's nothing underneath it. There's no follow through. There's no persistence. Like, everything that it actually requires of a person to like show up for a relationship isn't really there. And for some of you, I'm like getting, they've already shown you that. And then you have someone who has all of those things, but like it's not, you know, you're not just like, I'm going to grab a different deck really fast, because this message, it's kind of giving me your soulmate may not be your regular type, but this isn't like, oh, I don't find you attractive at all, or like, oh, da 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 da. I feel it's something. Hold on. This person has the backup. This person has what it takes. Okay, guys, I'm getting, you have an opportunity for a serious connection here. For some of you, there is a choice between two people, okay? Or it's almost like it's giving me, there really isn't a choice between two people, because one person can show up and the other person can't. So it's kind of giving me this energy of like, we can continue to choose something that doesn't show up, or we can choose someone who does. And that choice is us making the choice of like, do we want to be in a relationship? And you know, whether I agree with that personally or not, it feels kind of like uncomfortable. But, and I can't really think about it to be like, this is what I don't or do like about that, but that's just what it's showing me. It's like, it's like, this is how it is. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, I want it to be this way or that way. It's just, this is the way that it is. I honestly do feel for some of you that you may have a past person coming back here. You have reconciliation and playfulness. That playfulness is giving me this energy of a lack of seriousness. And it's not that, this person isn't, trying, or like they're planning to like show up and give you the runaround. It's not that. It's like, I think this person genuinely feels I can show up and I can be the person that Pisces needs in a person. But there's something about their demeanor, or there's something about, like, even if you're trying to get serious, it feels like it's hard to get this person to get serious, or like to focus, or to like commit, or to, and when I say commit, I don't even mean like commit to the relationship or commit to making it work. I mean more of an energy of like commit to anything. So I don't know what that is necessarily about, but I do feel like they are offering you some kind of reconciliation, but it's kind of also just one of those things where it's like, like reconciliation to go where, to do what is the end game here, what are we working toward in this reconciliation? Then you have the new love in the heart-to-heart conversation. This is literally giving me like you have potentially I'm going to say a newer person, because I think for some of you, you know this person. For others of you, you haven't met this person yet. But it's like there are conversations that you have with this person that kind of let you know that there is something deeper going on with this person, or like they can show up for you on a, like they're not just playing, and I do feel that there is this with the third chakra, this is like how we see ourselves and how we relate to the world. And sometimes we really get deeply involved in labels, right? Like, I am, this, or like, I don't even know how to describe it, but like, I'm this religion, I'm from this culture, I'm this, I'm that. And then we can kind of either look for something that's the same or something that's different based on how we feel about it, right? Or how attached we are to the label or whatever. But this is kind of giving me this, it's like this new person, there are differences with this person. Or there is something that, this can even be like age. This can be, like, just anything where it's almost kind of giving me you could be judged for it. Like, like how, if an older guy dates a way younger girl, or an older woman dates a way younger guy, they can be judged for that. People make assumptions about people like that. And I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong or anything. I think labels are wrong, and I think judging people for labels is wrong. So, but I mean, that's just me. The thing is, what I feel here is that it's just something where it may present its own challenge in and of itself. And it may be that someone that you're dealing with is kind of struggling like with that, like their personal identity in this space, or how they saw themselves, and then trying to reconcile it with this particular space that they're in with you, okay? But I do feel like there is a potential for a very serious relationship coming out of this. All right. You have presence and intuition, and, identifying like with our thoughts, with our feelings, with our labels. All of this actually takes us away from our intuition. The best space to be in to really connect with your intuition is flow. And flow happens when there are no labels and there is no judgment. So when we're fully present in the moment, we have a better chance of being in kind of like flow and being able to sort of follow the lead and kind of, I'm just getting like give in a little bit to spontaneity. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't. I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying that like there's just this energy of possibility that exists when we're not rigid and like, you know, like, I don't know. Let me see what's up with this. Okay, on the bottom of the deck we have I'm trying to understand myself more. You have I can feel that magnetic pull towards you. The energy between us feels amazing, and I'm still so confused about it all. See, I truly feel there are two different energies here. One of them is like a past person who they really do like you, and they like who they are when they're with you, and they like the way that it feels to be with you. But I don't know what they're confused about here just from these few cards, but it's giving me like, it's giving me an energy of like, you know, the person who's going to stand in your doorway. They're not going to come in and they're not going to go out, but they're just going to kind of freaking stand in your doorway. And that blocks your flow. And it's like, I don't want to be without you. I really like you. I want to keep you, but I don't want to give you what you need in order for this connection to really grow and flourish to its full capacity. Okay, whatever that is. Then you have the energy between us felt amazing, and I can feel a magnetic pull towards you. This is like someone that you feel drawn to, and they feel drawn to you. And when you allow yourself a space of conversation or like getting to know this person or them getting to know you, it feels very free flowing and very like, the word I keep getting with this connection is like stable, steady. You know, it might not be over the top exciting, and it might challenge our perception of ourselves, or maybe it's even like our perception of love and what love is. You know, I mean, like, I don't know. I can only tell you from my own experience, but you know, I've been with my husband 30 something years, and we've been married for 28, and I literally remember I wasn't like weak in the knees and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, like da 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 da. It just made sense. Like we just kept moving in that direction, and it just kept unfolding into deeper and deeper and deeper levels of trust and stability and goodness, you know, and feeling safe and feeling cared for. And you know, we just kept doing it, you know, and then here we are. And so, you know, sometimes when we have in our head that love is going to be like bells and whistles, or, you know, I don't know what this energy is, to be honest with you, because like a part of me is like, you know, sometimes when I'm reading energy, I will feel like the people watching it then saying to me, I know that, like, I'm way past that point. Like, I'm not even worried about that. But at the same time, spirit will go put me right back here. It will like take my eyes and put them here. Like, you're not saying this for no reason. you know, and maybe someone doesn't want to acknowledge that they need to hear this, but maybe they do. Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the message isn't for you, it's your person. It's letting you know, like, maybe there is some difference between you and it doesn't bother you at all, but maybe it's on this person's mind, or maybe they act like it doesn't bother them, but they do, but it does. You know, I don't know. I can't tell you for sure, but there's something here where it's kind of like, this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it's good. Like, but it's working, but it's, you know, and sometimes when we're so used to toxicity and we're so used to something feeling dramatic and chaotic, it can be really hard to feel like, you know, a healthy, stable relationship is right. You know what I mean? So it says here, I'm trying to understand myself more. And we do get to know ourselves much better through relationships. And it may be with this person where it's like they realize that they don't necessarily completely have the same kind of feeling that they have had in the past when it comes to relationships. Like maybe they're trying to figure out, why am I resisting this? Why am I fighting this? Why am I, you know, not like, because it feels like there are so many things that are aligned. Like, why am I letting this one thing kind of throw me off? Here, let's check with these cards and see if they give us something. You know, and with general readings, it's like sometimes there are so many, you know, energies that, you know, it can be kind of more than one. It can be, you know. See, we got that wishful thinking, and it's good. It took me, as soon as that came out, this color and this symbol took me here, which is making me go to here, which is like where I'm getting like viewers being like, I know that already. Like, I don't need you to tell me that already. You know what I mean? So this is definitely talking to me about, there's a relationship that's in separation here, and I feel it's like someone's trying to draw a boundary, and someone's trying to like say, okay, if you're not going to give me what I want, or you're not going to show up, or you're not going to be what I need, then I'm drawing this boundary. But you know, they really miss the person, or you know, they really want this to work out still. And this is like some kind of separation. Someone is keeping something hidden in this case right here that I'm seeing. Man, how do I even want to say this? It's not giving me like, this is what's happening. It's giving me more of, there's a part of myself that I'm uncomfortable with that I don't want you to see, so I'm keeping it hidden. So this is actually somewhat convenient for me. It sort of plays into my narrative because I'm getting like really dangerously close to sort of like, you know, either having to reveal this, like having to sort of somehow or some way be honest or like reveal something here. But with the wishful thinking on the bottom of the deck, this can be like, you know, I'm holding space for this. I really want this to work out. You know, I really feel good about this person being my person. And it's like they check all the boxes. You know, when I think about myself with them, this aligns with my identity of myself and what I'm looking for in a person, or what I need in a partnership, or whatever. And, you know, it's like all systems are go. But whatever caused this energy here, it is preventing this relationship from being viable, okay? And that's what it's giving me. It's like, this is wishful thinking. Thinking that this person has everything that I need. They align with my vision of what I hold for myself and for my relationship, and who I think I'm going to end up with. They are the closest thing I have met to that. But they're not really showing up and they're not really available. Like that's what it's literally giving me. They're actually not available. Like it's literally like it's like giving me, shaking my head yes, you know, like they're not available. And so maybe they align with some part of something here, but they're not, it's not, it's just, it's giving me point blank period. It's not enough. All right. Keep in mind, this is a general reading. So I do feel there's someone new, is what I feel. There was a conversation that went really wrong here. That or someone was deceptive or dishonest. And someone walked away without really thinking about the consequences, you know, and they took kind of radical, fast action. It feels like the rug was kind of pulled out from underneath here. It's kind of like, wow, I didn't see that coming. It almost feels like one of those conversations where you're sitting there having a conversation that feels sort of potentially even for some of you unimportant, and somehow it moves around to some irreconcilable difference. You know, this isn't for everyone, but it's like, wait, how do we get from there to there? Like, I don't understand what happened there. And, you know, sometimes when that happens, it's actually, you know, someone's intention for that to happen. You know, like they don't want to take responsibility and they don't want to show up and be like, listen, you know, I'm not really willing to be brave here and to, you know, try to work through my fears at this time. I'm feeling very overwhelmed and, you know, I just think we need to break things off. So instead, you're having this conversation about what's for dinner, and all of a sudden it's coming to, I can't be with you anymore. You're expecting too much of me. You're too demanding. You're too this, you're too that. You're not enough this, you're not enough that. And you're like, and it's like things that can't be changed or fixed. And you're just like, wait, okay. You know what I mean? I don't know where that came from. And I guess I just have to accept it, sort of, you know? So for some of you, that's what it feels like happened, but it feels like this was kind of this person's intention, but they didn't really think it through. You know, it's like, I wanted to sever this. I needed to get free. I needed to get away from this. I didn't want to put anything more into it. It was asking too much of me. I was getting freaked out. I just needed to walk away. And I didn't really put a lot of energy. Like I didn't, it's not that I didn't put the energy in. It's like, I didn't really put a lot of thought into how it would go, what it would look like, if there was going to be a way back from it, if I wanted a way back from it, if, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I needed out and this was the easy step for me to just do it very quickly, you know? It could have also been a conversation about something serious where someone was like, nope. And they drew a hard line and bolted. You know, they were like, it's like someone saying, you know, I really need a commitment in order to feel safe, in order to develop deeper intimacy. And the other person was like, well, I'm not willing to commit. And so the other person was like, well, you know, I can't just I don't want to be in a relationship that's stagnant. I don't even know if I can be in a relationship that's stagnant. Like, I don't know, you know, what I need or want anymore than right here, right now. And it kind of led to a stalemate or a breaking apart. Here's the problem. The problem is the 10 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. The problem is that for each one of these people, the other person represents an opportunity at emotional contentment, and they know it. They're aware of it. You know, this person, they were close. 8 of Cups, you know, they were almost there. And this person was like, this is too far, this is too much, you know, I have to bolt. I have to take some pretty radical action here. Either through their words or by just being unyielding and cutting something off, like not being willing to find any other option or opportunity to like work on things or figure it out, and not being available to even, you know, have conversations about it even. Yeah, this very easily could have been about commitment. It doesn't have to be, but we do have the Knight of Wands clarifying the Queen of Swords in reverse. You know, this person may have felt that there was some player energy going on here. They may have also felt like there could have been someone else involved or other people involved, or, you know, like this is someone who's relatively unserious, or, you know, kind of goes from thing to thing, and I don't want to be one of those things, so I need to make sure that I'm not. And then it's like this person was like, no, you know, yeah, wow. Here's the thing. This person's, they like broke their own heart through this behavior. This person, you know, was reacting to fear and illusion. They were reacting to their own kind of lower vibrational tendencies. And, you know, with the Strength and the Tower clarifying the Devil with the Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck, it's like they weren't really thinking ahead, and they weren't really expecting how they would end up feeling afterward. You know, that they would end up feeling like, oh my gosh, you know, like I just messed up with someone who was actually really important to me. Oi. You have the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. It's quite possible that after this falling apart, or after this like kind of fast, reckless action that was taken, the other person, this Queen of Swords in reverse person, you know, reminded this Knight of Swords person what a catch they were. You know, like I just had a client who was telling me that she had been seeing this guy for like 4 months, and had basically, like, they were sharing a location. They were, every weekend they were out together. They talked like every day most of the time. They both traveled for work, so not, they, you know, sometimes it just didn't work out, but like other than that, they were talking every day. And so she didn't think it was a big deal to start talking about commitment. And the guy just was adamant that no, like he wasn't looking for a commitment. And she was like, but what, I mean, like, what are we doing? That like how is your life going to change if we're committed or if we're not committed? And he was like, if I commit, then that means we're on the road to something more. And I'm not ready for that. And, you know, they ended up breaking up. And afterward, you know, she was like, honestly, I started going out with my girlfriends again. And I started, you know, really like going back to doing all the things that I was doing. And she was like, you know, I had a pretty full life before this person. And she, you know, like she worked out and she had friends and she had a lot of interests and hobbies. And she also has a pretty incredible job. And like she felt like almost immediately his friend was like, he's miserable. He's abso-freaking-lutely miserable. He wasn't even thinking, you know, at the time of the conversation or at this moment that he, you know, like he forgot who you were. And she was like, and that's when I realized like I had really made a mistake. I gave him everything I would give someone if they had committed without making him commit. And she was like, it hit, like, the girlfriend that he had before her had cheated on him. So it was like really important for him to have her location. He no longer had her, that was the first thing she took off. And anyway, she was like, I actually am sure that he is probably going nuts because, you know, he doesn't know where I am. Like, he went from knowing where I was like 24/7 to not knowing where I am to, you know, all this stuff. And she was like, but it was my bad. She was like, I kind of lulled him into this idea that he could have it all, and without giving me what I needed. And she had a major realization, you know, when his friend told her that. And they actually ended up getting back together a while ago. But it, you know, this Nine of Pentacles is really giving me this vibe. Like, she reminded him in a hurry. Like, okay, well, I'm going back to my life that was already in progress and amazing before I met you, you know. And again, she became the person he was attracted to, you know. Anyway, I don't know if he committed or not. I actually, gosh, I kind of want to know. You guys come to me when you don't come back, then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe, you know. All right. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so this is someone who, you know, you have the King of Wands in reverse. This is an energy of someone who knows what they want, but they won't go get it. You know, they're they're like, yeah, I want that, but like, they're just sitting there on it. You know, and maybe even convincing themselves of all the reasons why they can't go after it, why they can't have it. But you have the Magician and you have the Chariot here. I am getting a little bit of a vibe of travel. So for some of you, you may live at a distance from this person, or you may be traveling, or they may be traveling. Like, you may be aware of this. There may be some kind of trip here, or it may be required that there is distance between you, like that you have to cross some kind of distance here. Like, this may also be why the person was telling themselves that they can't do this. That doesn't have to be. Obviously, that's a specific circumstance, and you'll know if that's your circumstance. But, you know, it could even be, you know, I need to be free. Like, if this person, God, I also just had this client who has started seeing this guy who said to her, like, I really like my life being that, like, you know, if I decide to move to Hawaii next week, I can. If I decide to move to Florida next week, I can. Like, you know, he has one of those jobs that you don't have to go in on. Do you know what I'm saying? What is that called? A remote job. And he's so non-committal, right? That he's like, you know, I just kind of like want to keep all of my options open, not just like my option today, but like my option to just up and leave tomorrow open. And, you know, she's like, we really get along on so many levels. And she's like, I'm actually not even opposed to that. Like, I'm actually, you know, I have wanderlust. Like, I would go live somewhere else for a year or two, or, you know, like go do whatever. And she has a job that no matter where she goes, people are going to be hiring her. And so, so she's like, you know, I'm not really even opposed to that. So like, then when I told him that, he was like, well, it's harder for two people. Like, he just had all these reasons even then why it wouldn't work. And, you know, she's like, I could let it go, but, you know, there's just so many other things that align between us. There are just so many other things. And this is kind of giving me that vibe. And it may not be that, like, this person needs to just be able to pick up and leave the next day. But with the King of Wands in reverse, this is like, you have to ask yourself why. You know, they may give you a reason of, you know, well, if I decide to move to Hawaii tomorrow, I could, and I like that. And, you know, I don't expect anyone to like go along with that. And it was interesting to me because she called him on it, like, not intentionally. She wasn't like trying to call him on it. She was just like, she meant it. She was like, well, you know, I kind of have wanderlust myself. Like, I wouldn't mind just moving to Hawaii. She's like, I would never do it by myself. Like, as a single person, it's really expensive and like all this stuff, and I wouldn't know anyone. But like, if I was in a serious relationship and I had a partner, I would do it. And I was like, that's cool. She's young, and she really likes this guy, and I'm like, but oftentimes when the King of Wands is in reverse, there's the reason I tell people, but there's something underneath it. And you know, I don't know, you know, sometimes it can be just like, I really like my own privacy. I like my own space. I like to have my own time. I like to do what I like to do without anybody saying, you're playing video games again, or you're this, or you're that. And like, if I want to eat cheese and crackers for dinner and call that a meal, then I want to do that. I don't want somebody sitting there telling me that cheese and crackers isn't an appropriate dinner, and that, you know, I'm probably going to die 10 years early because I'm eating cheese and crackers for dinner. Like, I just want to be able to eat my cheese and crackers in peace. And like, you know, so it's kind of like, I want a relationship when I want a relationship, but I don't want one all the time. Or, you know, I'm also someone that really likes to be by myself, and I haven't found anyone that, you know, I can just be in companionable silence with and feel comfortable, you know, like whatever the case may be. It's just, it's kind of like, there's always some kind of reason. And yeah, oftentimes on this channel, we talk about, you know, an avoidant attachment style being the reason. And it is. A lot of times it is the reason, right? But there are other reasons, you know, if someone has spent the majority of their life by themselves and they're comfortable being by themselves, sometimes it's really asking a lot, or it's actually really hard for them to then, you know, invite someone else in on that kind of level, have that kind of relationship. But there are probably many other reasons. But I feel like with this, either this person was saying, I don't have what it takes, I don't have all the tools, you know, I am not someone that can do a deeper level of relationship. The Magician is the alchemist, so it's like, you know, someone who's able to take one thing and turn it into something else. The King of Wands may be saying, you know, I want that, I'm just not capable of it. I'm just not capable of that kind of relationship. But I will say, with the Magician and the Chariot on either side of the King of Wands in reverse, you know, I just feel like screaming BS, you know, like, just be honest with me here, you know. Like, just tell me the truth. If you want to be by yourself, then just say that. Like, you know, I don't know, there's something going on. We'll see. Wow. See, you have the Queen of Wands, so the match to the King of Wands. You have the High Priestess and the Chariot. And then you have the Magician on the bottom of the deck. With the King of Wands in reverse, you have that Knight of Swords from the beginning of your reading where the person walked away. And Temperance here. So there is an energy here about, like, this person got out of there quickly. To kind of rebalance, reground, recenter, find themselves again. So they obviously were somewhat overwhelmed, or they obviously were feeling really out of balance in their life. I'm just getting, it was in their life. Like, it didn't necessarily even have to be in relationship to this relationship. It could have just been in general. And that may be why, and they may have even said that to you, like, I really do want this relationship, or I really do want you, or I really am attracted to you, but like, I just can't have this right now, or I just can't go for this, or I just don't get to pursue what I want right now. This isn't that time for me in my life where I'm able to do that. Man. And like I don't know how long it's gonna be, you know, like I can't say can you wait for me for like 6 months, because it's like it takes as long as it takes, Temperance. It requires a lot of patience. It could even be like this person really doesn't believe in themselves or their ability to do this. With the High Priestess, the Chariot, and the Queen of Wands clarifying the Magician, there's like definitely one person in this relationship who's extremely capable and who is really well aware of their powers. And I feel like with the High Priestess here in the Chariot, it's you, Pisces. And you know, it does feel like you're the person who's like, if traveling needs to happen, then I'll travel. Like, this is kind of like, whatever the thing is, I'll figure it out. I'll work it out. Like, when I want something, or when I find someone that I could even feel like I could spend the rest of my life with, or whatever, or like even that I want to get to know on a deeper level. I mean, because I'm getting for some of you, like, it's even hard to find that. And you know, it's like nothing is like there. I will find a way through it. I will find a way around it. I will deal with it. You know, like that. It's like you're calling their bluff, like my client did, and it almost feels like it isn't necessarily intentionally. It's like, no, like I really mean that. I am getting here with this Magician on the bottom of the deck next to the Chariot. I mean, you have the Magician and the Chariot here twice. And this feels like action and reaction to me. You know that ball that like hits the other balls and then the other ball shoots out? You know what I'm talking about? Oh my God, that was the worst description ever. It's giving me this. It's giving me like the more I say, like my client, the more she said to this guy, well, like, I don't mind that, and I can do that. I'm a nurse. They were going to hire me no matter where I live, no matter where I go, they need nurses. So like, you know, I'm not opposed to that. Like if you wanted to move to Hawaii, like I would do it. Like maybe not for the next 30 years, but like for the next 2 or 5 or something. And you know, she was willing to open up a dialogue and have a conversation and find the solution. And this guy was just like problem. I mean, he was even saying to her, like, it's harder to find a 2-bedroom place. And she's like, why would we need 2 bedrooms? But anyway, she like, God, this is like, at first, when you're saying this to this person, that this person is like, it's causing them to run even further away. It's causing them to get even more sort of deeply entrenched in their, you know, King of Wands in reverse. Like, this can't happen. I can't make this happen, you know? Even if it's like about money or whatever it is, it's showing me, it's like the more you're like, oh, I can fix this, or I have a solution for that, the more they are like deeply entrenched in, it's not a solvable problem. The minute you stop trying to fix the thing, the minute you stop trying to have the solution to the thing, this person is like, I found the solution. You see what I'm saying? It's like, now they're the ones hitting the balls, right? Now they're the ones that are like, all of a sudden, I think I can figure this out, or all of a sudden, I think I have all the tools. And it has something to do with that 9 of Pentacles energy that we saw on the bottom of the deck up there before. It's like giving me this, it's almost giving me it like this, of like, oh, I want to talk to Pisces, but I want to do it like, there's a lot of ego and pride involved in this. Like, I'm just getting that right here, right now. Of like, I don't really want to go and say like I messed up or whatever. So like what I can do is go and say, I figured it out, or yeah, okay, I think it can work now, or such and such changed, and so now we might be able to make that happen. Like, there's something here, and it comes back to this reconciliation and playfulness energy where it's like, you know, if I'm coming back to you and I really, really messed up, it might be super uncomfortable for me to say, you know, I really messed up, but you're going to know it, even if I don't just come right out and say it, because I really don't think everyone does come right out and say it, even if they really mean it. It's really hard to get those words out. And if you're really missing somebody and you're really wanting it to work out, it seems like the thing to do is apologize. But there is something in our programming that is a little bit like, if I admit that I made a mistake, then that person can hold it against me or can choose that they don't want to be with me. And there is faulty logic there, but it is sort of a, you know, it's out there. I mean, that's kind of out there. So it's like, if I am really on edge and I really want you back and I really don't want to risk losing you, it's like I'm just getting, I might not, you know, fully want to dive into what happened back there. You know what I mean? But if I'm serious, I'm going to show you in every other possible way that I'm serious. You know what I mean? And this, with the playfulness and then this energy, and it keeps giving me the 9 of Pentacles is the reason for the shift here. When you stop trying to make it work, when you stop trying to explain to this person, when you stop, you know, trying to be seen by this person, when you stop trying to be relevant to this person, it's like all of a sudden they're very focused on you. And there's even this energy of suddenly they're the ones that, you know, want to be like, oh yeah, there's a solution to this. We can do this. We can make this work. I can make this work. You know, where before with the King of Wands in reverse, it's kind of like, no, there's no way. Even if I want it, I can't have it. See what I'm telling you? You got Justice sideways with the full upright with the 7 of coins. Justice sideways is like, I want to make this right, but like if Justice was upright, everything would be laid out on the table. You know, we would have confessed everything. Everything would just be open and in the public eye and to the point, and boom, there it is. But with Justice sideways, it's like, I want to do the right thing, but I don't want to rock the boat, or I don't, you know, there is ego and pride involved in this. Like, I can feel it, but also I just feel this energy of like, I don't want to mess it up by bringing the past into the present, kind of a vibe. Then you have the Fool card here. So this is like saying this person wants to leave everything behind and just go all in. And that, you know, if that is true, right? Like, there is a certain playfulness about the Fool, especially this particular Fool. And the playfulness in and of itself, by itself, is not a bad thing, right? It's not like lying or something like that. But I'm just getting a lack of seriousness here, or like, what are we backing this up with? And with Justice coming out sideways and then the Fool here, for some of you, I feel like, yeah, this person could be serious and they could want to go all in, and they want to show you how serious they are by like not holding back, by like going all in. But for others of you, it's like, I feel a very lighthearted kind of like, oh, can't we just forget all that happened? Oh, can't we just move on like that never happened? Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I just get this energy of sweeping it under the rug. You have the 7 of Pentacles here, which is giving me 2 different vibes. For one thing, it's giving me, whenever this first initially sort of came together, like before it didn't work out or before it went into separation, there were seeds planted. Like, you told this person when you were in the the Queen of Swords, this is what I need, this is what I want, you know, I need you to show up, I need you to offer me this, this, this. And it's, you're not, with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like you're not asking too much. And it's like, this was a very, I'm putting it out on the table, I'm being very serious, like, I'm telling you and I'm showing you, like, this is what I need, this is what I want. So it's like, when this person comes back, you expect them to understand that if you're coming back and you're telling me you want to be in a relationship with me, it means that you are also willing and ready and able to meet my terms. You see what I'm saying? And with the Seven of Pentacles also, for some of you, there is this energy of, oh God, it's like, the Seven of Pentacles can be like an investment, and it can kind of be like, I see how she has them all in her basket and she's like holding them there and they're still in the tree. She's not moving very fast. You know, she's not like, oh, you're ready to be the Fool? Yes. You know, let's go all in. Let me take that leap with you. She's kind of saying, okay, I would invest this in this based on what I know, but I'm kind of going to let you show me who you are and how serious you are before I start investing, before I start giving this to you. And I don't know, maybe it has both meanings for some of you. Maybe it's one or the other. But it is a serious energy, especially with these cards. You know, Justice would normally be a very serious energy, but when it's coming out sideways, it's kind of like, I do have the intention of making it right, and I do want to balance the scales, but I'd like to do it on my terms. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially with the Magician here, it's kind of like, you know, I want to use some like, you know, I want you to know how I feel. I want you to know that I really intend to like take this from one thing to another thing. But like, I kind of want to do it by being really cute and by showing you this way rather than like, I don't know. I am getting a little bit of an attention seeking energy here. So just be careful about that. But you know, it's like, I want you to know what I mean without me having to like go fully all the way down that path, right? Like, I don't know how to say it, but it's a little childish. You know how my daughter, you know, she's in school, and when they call on you, they call it a cold call in law school, when they call on you to answer a question. And there is this guy in her class, and he never does his homework, and they were in class and the teacher called on him, and he's a cute guy, and he was like, yeah, I actually didn't do the reading. And then like, I can't remember exactly, like the way she told me, it was like, I want to say like cute, or like that's how he intended it, but it really wasn't, because they're in law school and like, you know, it's kind of serious. And he made this gesture to the professor of like dribbling a basketball and then shooting it into the basket. Do you know what I mean? Like, because he is like an athlete guy, and not playing into any stereotype at all there, but anyway, my daughter was just like groaning about it, and I was just like, oh, you know, that is the exact energy I'm picking up with this person. It's like, you know, can't my cuteness, can't my, you know, whatever get me out of this right here? Or can't we just kind of overlook this because you know you like me? kind of energy. And it's like, you know, I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, see what I'm saying? You have the Five of Swords here, and it came out sideways. That's clarifying the Justice. And this is like, it's kind of like giving me someone who's like, I can't decide if it's in my best interest or not to disclose all the facts here, or to kind of confess or admit or acknowledge my mistake. It's like, you know, and whatever the way of thinking they have about this is, it's self-defeating. It's not, you know, it's not, how do I want to say, it's not really productive, right? It's not like, what is the best thing to set this relationship up for its best possible outcome? You know, it's like, it's like, how far do I have to go to kind of be able to get what I want without having to go further than I want to go? I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, then you have the Fool card clarified by the Queen of Cups. And this, you know, this is like, they just want to get back to the loving part. Like, they just want to get back to the part where you're nurturing and loving and accepting, and not the Queen of Swords in reverse anymore, you know, to where you're like your old normal self, you know? And so with the Eight of Wands, their strategy is really in their communication. And, you know, I don't want to keep talking about this cutesiness, but I keep getting that even around this Eight of Wands energy. It feels like, oh, I'll pour on the charm. I'll say what I have to say. Like, I don't want to let it get that serious, or I don't want it to go kind of like that deep, or, you know, make that big a deal out of it or whatever. But like, also, with the Eight of Wands, it's like, I want, when I communicate with you, I want you to communicate back with me. Like, I don't want it to stop. I don't want to like put that in jeopardy. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, with my words, like blow up my own spot by like being too performative. I don't know, you guys. Take it as it resonates. This is like, it feels like a super specific reading, but like, I don't know, you know, sometimes I think that, and then it's like 100 people will write comments like, what in the world? How do you know? So who knows? But I'm just going with honesty and what I'm picking up here. But it's like with the Eight of Wands, their goal really right now is to keep the conversation going, is to try to get that to the space where you are also willing to take a leap of faith with them. Okay. So let me just see. Wow. I mean, yeah, they know what they want, and they're going to try to show you that they are willing to put their nose to the grindstone to do it. That, or this could be the new person. Wow, Page of Wands clarified by the Page of Wands. This could absolutely be a new person coming in. Possibly at kind of the same time this is happening. Because this person, they are looking at you. They may have already observed you. They may be hanging back. You may be talking to them a little bit, but they may really like what they see. They may be feeling very sure that, you know, this is a path they definitely want to go on. Like, they at least want to start the process of getting to know you. You know, this is definitely a path that this person is choosing. They feel good about it. They feel at peace with choosing this path toward you. They're seeing you also as a 10 of Cups, Queen of Cups. So they're seeing you also as someone who they could have emotional contentment with, and, you know, that is very nurturing and a soft place to fall, and a very loving person. and this is what they've been looking for. You've definitely caught their eye with the 8 of coins. Like, this person's willing to work hard for it. So crazy. I was like, oh yes, this is a new person. 100%. I really do feel. You have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups, the 6 of Wands, and the Tower. This is, I think it's something unexpected. I think this is someone unexpected. I think you may have your vision on a past person and really thinking like, oh, they're perfect for me. That's my person. They may even come back around and start talking to you again and like trying to get you to go this way. But you may really question how serious they are in this attempt. Then you may have someone who comes in who's like, we don't really know each other, but everything I see about you, I really like you are kind of what I'm looking for. And they might not be your usual type. I do think they're attractive though, because you have the 6 of Wands here. They're very diligent and very hardworking. 2 aces. This person's going to be very clear in their communication and in what they want and what they see. They want a new beginning in love, and they definitely feel like this is an opportunity that the universe has placed in front of them that definitely has the power of reaching its full potential. They want your attention, and you know, they may be giving you a lot of attention. With the 6 of Wands, they may be publicly recognizing you. They may be wanting to take you out on really like, I'm like getting big dates or like, you know, showy kind of dates. And what I mean by that is like, yes, it might be really nice. Like it might be a nice restaurant, or it might be a nice experience, or it might be, you know, just something that's like next level. But they're doing that to show you how serious they are. You know, this is very unexpected. Let me just take one on this Tower. Okay, I'm trying to take one. Look, oh my, I can't even. You guys, I cannot. Do you see it? I know that not very many people probably, I mean like a third of you religiously are still here for this right here. But like, holy crap, this is what I call a little miracle on the tarot board. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse with the 5 of Cups. This is like letting go of a past situation that was just not working out, okay? Or do I give it another shot? This is someone who's disappointed me in the past. Do I allow them to potentially disappoint me again? Or there is someone who's choosing me who, you know, we don't have a history together or whatever, but they keep putting one foot in front of the other. They're showing me that they're serious and persistent. And this kind of energy typically crosses the finish line. What am I choosing? I don't expect to be in this position. I don't expect to be in this situation. What the heck? This energy is coming through loud and clear since the beginning of this reading, but like, it feels very specific, but like if this is your reading, this is your reading. Holy smokes. All right, let me get you guys some messages. All right, if you're dealing with a water sign, you're getting, you were so unexpected. Oh my gosh. Be patient with me, please. Good intentions and anxious. If you are dealing with a fire sign, oh my gosh. What we have here is soul recognition. Our eye contact is insane, nostalgic, passion, and annoyed. All right, if you're dealing with an earth sign, the changes are real. We will be together again. You deserve more. And wait for me. And if you are dealing with an air sign, I am choosing you. Resentment. I want your attention. And I don't want to let you down. All right, guys, this is what I have for you. This wild and crazy reading. Oh my goodness gracious. This is what I have for you. I hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and some clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I love to hear from you. Until next time, guys, all my best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.